Hi guys, this is ScreenBinge.com and this is Mohit Mostani. Today we have the legendary Dedee Pfeiffer, and she doesn't really need any introduction. The world knows her, she's a legend. So, hi Dedee, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you? Thank you for having me on your show.
I'm doing good, and you're most welcome. In fact, it's a dream come true because I've
Oh,
heard your name growing up, and right now I'm doing an interview with you. My mother is a diehard fan, so
oh,
she's gonna
hi,
be
Mom.
she's gonna
I
be
love it when
proud.
you get your mom's with me.
Yeah, so she's finally happy with something that I'm doing.
Yeah, finally, you're interviewing somebody that she likes. There,
Yeah,
that's a good one.
yeah. Most of the people I interview and I tell her about them, and she's like, "Who's that? Who's that? Who's that?"
That's how I am with my sons. They're like, "Mom, don't you know who you're working with?" I'm like, "No, who is that?" They're huge. I go, "Oh, okay."
Tell them that their mom is also huge.
No, I try to tell them that, but they won't listen. They won't have it. It's gross. They don't even watch the show Big Sky, which, by the way,
Uh,
new night, Thursday night, 10 p.m. Yes, shameless plug.
mhm.
Um, but they won't even watch the show because they think it's just too weird, like to watch your mom on TV. They're like, it's just too weird. And I go, actually, I kind of get that. That is kind of weird. I mean, I watch my sister, Michelle, but it's weird. It's like weird when you see somebody you know, especially if you're related to. So
Yeah.
they're like, and they're teenagers. They don't want to watch their mom. I don't know about you, but when you're a teenager, the last thing you want to do is hang out with your mom. Certainly don't want to watch her on TV, but they want to make sure that her credit card is working for the pizzas for sure. Always.
That is so true. So true. So true.
Yeah. Long as mama's credit card's working for the pizzas.
Yeah. Right. So, Didi, if correct me if I'm wrong, you started your career in 1985.
With 82, actually, when I was 18. Yeah. Well, yeah, 82, when I graduated from high school in 82. I know
Uh-huh.
it's back then when the dinosaurs were running. We had no computers, no cell phones. It was shocking. We'd have to stop at payphone booths with a
Right.
dime and make a phone call, bring out your phone book, because, or if you unless you memorized numbers. So that's when I started. It was way back in 82. I studied for 2 years
Right.
before I actually went and try to find an agent and stuff because
Uh-huh.
to be honest, I just sucked. I was really, even when I was interviewing, I was still pretty bad. I was a nervous wreck. I was painfully shy. Looking back, I don't know why I became an actor because I'm actually really shy. I know it's a little hard to believe, but I am.
um, as they say, the universe has plans for you.
Well, I like to hide behind characters. Like my characters get to say and do things that say I would never give myself permission to do in real life. So there's always that joy and that fun. And I love people
Exactly,
watching.
exactly. That's what I do with my fiction writing.
Yeah, right. It is, especially with writing too. You can just really the world is your palette. And as an actor, I love people watching. I love human behavior, which is why I took off for college for 10 years, got a
Yeah,
bachelor's of science and master's of social work because again, I'm just so interested in human behavior. Like how
exactly.
is it because I get animals, love animals.
Yeah,
We can't forget Penny, my cockatoo in the background. Oh, here she comes. Here.
right.
Everyone who follows Dedee Pfeiffer official knows Penny because she's all over my Instagram. She's hugely popular. Yeah, there she is. Hi, honey. Hi.
She's the biggest star now,
She's huge. I'm telling you, whenever I post, there she goes. Whenever I post her drinking coffee with me in the
huh?
morning or whatever, my Instagram blows up. Like,
Uh-huh.
Penny, love, love, love. And I'm like, me and Big Sky, they're like, yeah, well, we love the show. We'll see it then. I would follow the cockatoo before I'd follow a person. People,
uh,
we're complicated. We're complicated. Animals, not so much.
yeah, right. They're
Yeah.
just all love, pure, genuine nature's love.
Yeah. Yeah. Mother's Earth's
Mother
creatures. I just love them.
Earth's creator. Yeah,
Anything with the soul, man, I'm into it. Yeah.
yeah. So, okay, so you are saying that you started your acting career in 82. What was the film? What was the film?
Oh, actually, the very first um gig I got it and then I lost it.
Right.
So I ended up getting another gig because, well, long story short, back in the day, I think it's still that way now. I'm not sure. I'm trying to date myself, but it used to be you couldn't do a SAG, Screen Actors Guild project, film or TV, without being in the union, without being a SAG member.
Right.
But you couldn't be a SAG member unless you did a SAG project. But you
Right.
couldn't get a SAG interview unless you were SAG.
Right.
So it was a catch-22. So we were lying all the time just to get into the interview. So you'd
Uh-huh.
make your resume look like you're in the union and you're not. Like I
Mm-hmm.
was like background in one of Michelle's films, Hollywood Nights. And I
Mm-hmm.
said, oh yeah, I was atmosphere, glorified atmosphere in
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood Nights. Just this
Right.
is how you'd fill up your resume, making it look like, you had worked. And then just to worm your way into the interview. And then you try to get the role and then hopefully discover that they love you enough that they would Taft-Hartley you into the union because it costs them money to do that, right? So
Definitely.
I manipulated my way into an interview, got the role,
Mm-hmm.
and then my agent called me and goes, "You're SAG, right?" And I said, "Dude, no, that's been the problem. That's why I'm so hard, to get into interviews." And he goes, "Uh-oh, let me call you back." Called me back and said that they gave it to the other actress who they liked as much because she was already in the union and I wasn't.
Right.
So Michelle, right, which was so like messed up, man. It was just like, no, but for them it was a cheaper route, but then they liked us both equally. But
Right.
me a little bit more because I got it, but then when it came down to the bucks, they liked her better because she was, yeah. So Michelle was working on with John Landis Into the Night and with Jeff
Uh-huh.
Goldblum moment at that time. And I came
Right.
home and I was pretty upset, and she was like, that stuff, oh my God. She went to work and told John Landis that, and John was like, oh, hell no. So he said, tell her to show up on Hollywood Boulevard on Saturday night with her cheapest, most nasty hooker clothes, and I'll give her a role as a hooker, and we'll get her into the union.
Yeah.
Um, but and then he said to me, I'm probably going to cut it out of the movie because it's not in the script. But I just want to help you get
Yeah.
your card because that's really messed up what they did to you. I said, oh my God, thank you. It gets
Mm-hmm.
better. They kept my hooker role in the movie, so
Uh,
that was my role. He said you were so funny, I had to keep you in because
yeah.
you were a funny little hooker, a $10 hooker on Hollywood Boulevard.
Uh-huh.
And then he's so sweet because I didn't have any money because I was working as an illegal cocktail waitress, a female oil and mud wrestling joint,
Right.
illegally. I was underage. And you needed like all this money to pay for the card. I didn't have it. So he then hired me to do ADR, which is audio dialogue replacement
Right. Right.
film, where I do like parking at the red zone, no parking at the red zone, that background
Yeah.
noise, people. I did that for a few $100s so that I could pay for my SAG card. So
Right.
I owe John Landis and my sister a lot. They've definitely opened the door for the possibilities to even read for projects.
Right.
So that's how it all.
But what's great is that you were willing to uh, do the smallest of roles and you know uh, taking the smallest of opportunities to get to your dreams, and
Mm-hmm.
today it's all in front of us.
I come from a generation of teachers who said there's no small actors, I mean, there's no small roles, only small actors.
Uh-huh.
And I come from a theory of acting that even if you have the worst written role, you
Right.
should be able to do something with it if your internal work is strong and hot and interesting. Because not everybody can write a script well. Not everybody can direct well. They're not going to edit it well. The lighting, there's a lot of
Right.
factors that go into it. But what you do have control over is what you bring to the role. So you should be able to do the ABCs. Interesting and sexy and dangerous and, whatever the director wants you to do with the
Yeah.
ABCs, right?
Yeah.
And I think another thing that I learned, which is hugely important, and I think a lot of times we forget, and I love this when I heard this, it's like as actors, we get paid to wait and we act for free. And if you've ever been on a movie set, it's true. You can sit there for 12 hours before
Uh-huh.
you see the camera.
Uh-huh.
And then maybe, you get a couple takes and then you're done, right?
Right.
And it's the same thing with interviewing. You can spend years and years and years, like me, interviewing and not
Mm.
ever get a role, but get close or not close. And so it's a lot of waiting,
Mm-hmm.
but you're acting for, the actual action
Right.
of acting, right? We do
Mm-hmm.
that for free, but we also need to pay our rent, so
Yeah.
and feed cockatoos and dogs and cats that are around here.
Pay the rent.
Yeah,
Um, get the stove working. Put
pizzas
table.
for your teenage boys.
Yeah. That's coming out right from the heart, huh?
Priority, man, priorities.
So, Didi, in '85, you did three movies consecutively. Uh, Moving Violence, Moving Violations, and Midnight Hour, and Tough Love. So, your genre has mostly been thrillers or comedy or horror. Uh, so, what is the factor that uh, intrigues you or sparks you to do such kind of roles?
Work. I'm not picky, especially in the first 30 plus years of my career. I never turned anything down that I remember.
Uh huh.
Work is work.
Right.
I never chose anything. It chose me. I read for everything. I mean, I was really lucky to have a lot of really great agents at the time and managers. So I read for everything, got really close to a lot of things, didn't get it. So I did whatever I could, whatever I got. And if it happened to have been a horror movie, great. If it's a thriller, great. Comedy, great.
Right.
For a long time though, you're correct. In the beginning, my career was really slanting towards comedy, although
Mm.
my the basis of my training was actually drama,
Drama.
Stanislavski method.
As we see in Tough Love.
Yeah, it was drama, but people didn't view me as drama. So I started to ask my agent, can you make sure, try to get me out on that. And they said, well, honestly, what's happening is people are only viewing you as a comedy actor. Back then you were pigeonholed or typecast into certain, if
Mm.
you did drama, you couldn't do comedy and vice versa. That's kind of how it was.
Yeah.
And if you did TV, you did features, and if vice versa.
Yeah.
Very much a segregation back in the sense that and celebrities weren't actors. You know what I mean? And musicians weren't actors. I mean, we were very like, you were over there, we're over here.
Yeah.
I was able to get enough people to believe in me to read, just get me an interview. And then they were like, oh, damn, she's got some chops. She can do drama. So I
Yeah.
was able to get like Tough Love and then other drama roles. So I do
Uh-huh.
a little bit of both. Once I really submerge myself into drama, then I want to do comedy. And then when I do comedy, I want to, and then I want to do action. I want
Right.
to do it all. Life is too short, man.
That is
Yeah.
true. That is true. Your
Yeah.
time is definitely limited, and you don't know how much time you have.
Well, and I'm 57. It's like if I decided I'm done now, then
Mm-hmm.
I'm done. I'm not done now. I'm far from done, especially because I'm going to go to 100. I tell my boys that. I go,
Wow.
guys, I'm going to go to 100. So I'm going to be around for a while. So get used to it.
Wow.
And I got a lot of living. Even I've already lived a lot, but I have a lot more because I try to live every day through curiosity versus resistance.
Love that
And you go
energy.
every day
Love
with
that
curiosity.
mindset.
Yeah. Look at all that you can see and absorb and
Mm-hmm.
feel. And I don't know, the world opens up when you look at life with curiosity versus resistance,
That
for
is
sure.
that is definitely very very true. So
You have to be mindful of it or conscious when you're doing it. Right? You have to be conscious of when you're doing this. Because
exactly.
I do, I feel like, and then I go, Dee
Mm-hmm.
Dee, take a big breath, look at, refocus the way you're looking at this and try to look at it with curiosity.
Uh-huh. I see. So Didi, Cybill has been you know a, s- a series that kind of put a strong foundation for you, as appeared as Rachel very frequently in the show, and the show was also quite popular back then, and people still talk about it.
I'm sorry, you froze. What? Which one did you say? I'm sorry, you froze for a moment.
Cybill. Cybill.
Oh, Seinfeld. Yeah.
No, 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 not Seinfeld. Cybill.
Oh, Sybil.
Cybill. Yeah,
Yes, yeah. I was just talking about Sybil yesterday. Actually, it's not her, but the show.
yeah.
Yeah, Sybil was very successful when that was one of my very first starring roles on a network television series. I was
Mm,
very green. I was a deer in the head, like a deer in the headlights for sure. Just really watching and working with a moving train, because
yeah,
everybody had done it before. So many veterans were on that show, who were just
yeah,
like a machine. And I felt like um I always felt like um what do you say, like with a visitor like that you invite in, just like,
yeah. You
like every day I
felt
thought I
like
was
an
gonna get fired.
outsider. Felt like an
Kind of,
outsider.
yeah. New when you're so brand new to
Yeah,
something so big like a network TV show, it can be really overwhelming. So
yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
I learned a lot though from that show. It really set me up for other half an hour comedies, which was fantastic.
Right. And then you also were in Falling Down, which is great
Falling down.
psychological movie thriller, uh, very beautiful storyline, and that's also regarded as one of your greatest works. And again, For Your Love was a comedy basically, and that's also kind of still regarded as a great series even today. So you've had these really nice projects that have put on the spotlight on you. So I believe you've
Thank
been
you.
a hard worker and lucky at the same time.
Yeah, thank you very much for saying that, because I think it is luck and I think it is hard work.
Yeah,
I think that it's the two, you know.
I think luck
Yeah,
starts to work when you start to work.
I think that the universe starts to shift when you really have you're focused and you're like, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up. You take the knocks, and there's a lot of knocks to be taken in an industry where less than 1% of any actors work at any given time. And that was a long time ago. I don't know what the stats are now.
Hmm.
So it's a very competitive industry. So I've always been really grateful to get any job, you know what I mean?
Right.
Any work, because I
Mm.
understand the magnitude of the stats. Just the odds are so against you, and it has really rarely anything to do with your ability to perform or be an actor, right? It has to
Right.
do with there's 450 of you reading for one role. Only one of you are going to get it. That means, what is that? What did I say? 449 are going to be told no.
Yeah.
And that's just, y'all can't do the role, right?
Yeah.
But people know a lot. It's hard. So I highly recommend that you have other things going on in your life that fill you up, fill your soul, keep you, keep your wheels turning and your heart full of compassion for people and people watch and just all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah, you have to, because there's a lot of downtime as an actor.
So
I mean,
you've
even right now, I'm in Mexico doing Big Sky, and Denise, I shoot maybe once every 2 weeks, if
mm,
for a day or two, and then I'm off, right? So
yeah,
I'm employed, but I'm off, and I can get into a lot of trouble if I'm not careful and keep myself very busy.
yeah,
Um, right? I mean, that's just anybody, right? I think we all need to be productive and do things. Yeah.
definitely, definitely. And I love the fact that you say that you want to work till 100. Most
Yeah.
people want to retire at 35, 32, and
Hmm.
have a couple of $1 million in their bank account and do nothing. And that's not the way uh, one should plan life. I mean, every day should be about making a change, doing something.
Adding to the world.
Yeah,
being
adding to
proud.
the world, helping people
Yeah,
out.
and it can be a little thing. It can be a quiet little thing that you do. It doesn't have to be some big thing. You know,
Exactly.
I like to think that everything we do has to be so big and monumental, like some people can do. And no, I say, oh, it starts with baby thing. Bit little,
Exa-
just do one little thing today that
Exactly.
makes your soul feel good. You know, if it means even opening up the door for somebody, you know, when they're having troubles get through the grocery door, go open the door for them.
Yeah.
Watch their face. Oh, thank you. You're like,
Yeah.
you're welcome.
Yeah,
He's not
that
that hard for
stays, and the good thing is that it's contagious. You do a good act for one person, that person does another good act for someone
you. Hmm.
else, and the chain continues.
Exactly. Or someone sees you do that and they see the response in the
Yeah,
other person and the exchange, the lovely exchange between two strangers within a minute just had a beautiful, positive exchange out of nowhere, and somebody else gets to look at that and go, oh, that was really cool.
yeah,
I I like that. I'm going to do that next time. I'm going to
yeah,
open the door to somebody who doesn't expect it and just, change the trajectory of their day. Because trust me, you probably will, right?
definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. Um, Okay, so you've also had your, a good share on the um, big screen. You've been in Red Surf with George Clooney. How was that experience?
George and I go way back.
Oh,
Oh, George and I dated way before Red Surf. We dated when he was, how old were we? Really young. Anyways, I had an a wait. I didn't have an agent. No, wait. Okay. We met through my sister's friend
right.
because he was in acting class with my sister's friend, and it was Jilly Bean, Jill, and she said, "Oh, there's this guy in my acting class named Gorgeous George. He's gorgeous. You got to meet him." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, whatever." And I met him. I'm like, "Oh shit, she's right. He's gorgeous." So we dated. We were young and kind of stupid, and he was doing a lot of. Oh yeah, he had an agent and was doing things like Killer of the Tomatoes or something like that. And I was, what was it? Oh no, I'm sorry. He was making money doing pilots that didn't go, and I was doing all these independent films. So we wanted each other's career at the time. It's like I needed money. I was starving. I was making no money on independent films, and he was making a lot of money on pilots that didn't go anywhere. So it was like he wanted to do films. I wanted to do TV. So we were running around Hollywood, just being one of the many actors out of work, trying to walk the pavement. And he was crazy. He would do things. Bring a bunk bed in to an interview room. I go, George, you did not. And you go, yeah, I did. I said, that's awesome. But that's back in the day when you could do that. You bring things into an interview. Now you get arrested for, go right into a casting director's face. Now you can't do that.
Yeah, definitely stuff has
Yeah.
changed.
George and I were in a generation where we got away with a lot of shit to get a role. Now you can't do that. But he
Yeah.
doesn't need to. Yeah. He's all like established. Yeah. George is great. He's a fantastic human being and a man. And I'm really happy that he's married.
Uh-huh.
And that's so exciting because he swore he would never do that, and he did. This is Lenny.
Oh wow, mine was also a Siamese.
Tiny. He had a kitty too. She just came on to say, "How are you going to bat me in the face?"
She looks
She's like,
so similar to mine. It's hard to tell. Very
did
very
she did
similar.
you grab your ankles? I had to
Oh,
pick her up
all
because
the
she
time.
grabbed my ankles.
I still have a tiny scratch mark,
Oh
and it
yeah,
does not go. It's been years.
yeah,
Yeah. So,
yeah,
in fact, somebody asked me if I tried to commit suicide, and I was like, hell no.
yeah. I know,
Yeah.
me too. Between the cockatoo and the Rottweiler and the cat, I go to work all beat up.
Right. So, after Red Surf, you've in Falling Down, you were with Michael Douglas, which was and is another great actor. And
Mm.
how was it on the sets with him?
It was amazing. I think, honestly, I think I was in shock that I got in the role. Joel
Uh-huh.
Schumacher, the fantastic director. I was very much in shock. I mean, I just went into actor mode, do my role, and make sure I'm really good at it, and come up with really hot choices and make sure that I'm bringing a lot to the role of Sheila, the Whammy Burger Girl. Because otherwise, if I thought about the fact that I was looking into Michael Douglas's eyes acting with him, I would have just, I would have just probably fainted, or peed on myself or something. Because really, that's huge. I mean, George, I know was like, oh my God, George. But I know George. I mean, George, I go way back before he was George. You know what I mean? It's like my sister Michelle. She's still Michelle. She's Shell, right? Um, but Michael Douglas, I'm like, oh, hold on. Oh, I still look back and go, how did I not faint when I met him? How was I able to perform? I still don't know how I did it. I still am in shock. I'm still in shock that I did Seinfeld. I'm still in shock that I worked with most of the people that I did. I think I just go into this kind of shock mode. And then years later, someone goes, you were on Seinfeld. I go, oh yeah, that's kind of cool, huh? They're like, kinda. Yeah. Or what am I? It like hits me a day late and a dollar. I'm always a day late and a dollar short anyways. My career is pretty much like that. But no, he's a fantastic man, really sweet, really generous as an actor too. He loved what I was doing, Sheila. Like he really loved what I did with that character. He was enjoying it.
Uh-huh. And then again, in Tune In Tomorrow, you were with
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves, and he's praised all over the industry for being the kind of humble person that he is. No flashy cars, no, that celebrity kind of
No.
aura, being,
Well, I
very
call him
down
Canoe
to
Head.
earth.
Yeah, I call him Canoe Head. And he
Canoe
and I were in
head.
Canoe Head. We were in North Carolina or South Carolina, one of the two, when we worked on that. And Julian, the scriptwriter, and that's where I met him. And he was great. We were both young, and we rode around on the back of his motorcycle, which I swear to you, I thought was going to break because it was like old. And I was like, it wasn't some nice, big, bad Harley like George has. Keanu had like this beaten up motorcycle that I was on the back of, running around because there was always hurricanes and stuff. We had terrible weather, so they were always canceling work. So we just run around and drink and just we ran around one night at the beach at night and just went into the ocean, and people thought we were like on drugs. We weren't. We just went into the ocean at night. We just literally walked into the ocean fully dressed on the way to go to dinner. Actually, on the way back, I can't remember.
Sometimes it's therapeutic to do crazy things, huh?
Yeah, no, he was always very spontaneous. He's very real. What I love about him too is that, before it took me to get into my 50s before I really understood. Actually, I'd have to say now, I'm now sober 3 years. In my sobriety is when I was able to find my truth and own my truth. Keanu's always owned his truth. And, and I love that about him. He was always very carefree, skipped to his own beat, danced to his own drum, just all of that. And I always loved that. I was always very concerned about what people thought of me,
Exactly.
And I never gave myself permission to own my truth. I knew what my truth was. I just never gave myself permission to own it and not apologize for it. So he was always that way naturally. Yeah, he's really just a good person, really good.
Yeah.
I think he's probably still riding that motorcycle knowing him. Yeah.
And then again in Into the Night, you were with Jeff Goldblum, not Goldblum.
Goldblum. Jeff, yeah. That was the very first role that John Landis gave me of the $10 helper that I was supposed to get cut out of the movie, but they kept me in. So and Michelle and Jeff went on a world or international tour for the movie, and Shell brought me there. So it was really fun. I got to get to know Jeff. He's a really sweet man. He is so talented. Like even now when you see him on those commercials, he's so good. It's like he can take any sentence and make it so interesting. Like I love watching him work.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah. So I was doing my research on um, your film Allnighter,
Uh
um
huh.
1987, and what I realized was maybe this movie was quite fun for the actors as well. I mean, you were mm, uh, uh, your character was well, and Suzanne Hoff was playing Molly, and Joanne Cusack was Gina. So I kind of thought to myself, I mean, this is like a comedy slash party movie. So these
Yeah.
girls must have had real fun, even filming it, and roaming around the place and all that.
Um, yes and no. When I first met Joni Cusack, I fell in love with her. I was just like, I loved her so. She was so funny. She's so smart. She was just so amazing, and she was having issues with her boyfriend at the time. So I moved her in with me. I lived in a single apartment, literally a room.
Hmm.
And I went and moved her out with a bunch of trash bags and said, "Nope, you're in with me." So she lived with me during the making of that movie
Wow.
in my single apartment. It was literally the size of a bat cave, and a bathroom and a did I even have, I think I had a hot plate, maybe a little, I don't remember. It was really teeny. So we were tight. We did everything together. We were like frickin' frack during that. She and I, Susanna was very busy because her mother directed it. So she kind of, and then she was, I'm not sure what Susanna was doing. Yeah. Joni and I ended up being crazy. Yeah. We were frickin' frack for sure.
So
Making of
yeah,
that. Yeah. Yeah.
that came to my mind that you must have had a lot of fun, you know, because of the storyline that the movie has. So
Yeah.
yeah, you've also had guest appearances in Ellen,
Mhm.
Seinfeld, CSI, New York, Wanted, ER, Friends. Uh, so how does that feel? Being related to such popular and evergreen kind of projects.
Well, it's actually funny that when you say them like that, and when other interviewers have said, "Oh, you've been in this and this and this and this," it's in that moment that I realize, like I said, a day late and a dollar short. It's in that moment I go, "Oh
Oh
yeah, I've
yeah.
really worked hard. I've been really busy. Hey, I've been really lucky. Hey, I really worked my butt off." It's really in those moments when you remind me.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I'm very in the moment. Like when I do something and it's gone, it's back there. It's in the past.
it's in the past.
It's back there. I can, yeah. I'm not a big one to look in the past. That's why I don't look at pictures of myself when I was younger. People always love to like send me pictures of myself when I was younger. I'm like, why would you do that? I don't want to see me when I look like when I was 12. I'm 57. I'm trying to embrace aging and you're sending me pictures of when I look like 12, right? But people love to do that. Uh, I, I'm like, I think part of trying to be at peace with oneself is to be in the moment, right?
Hmm.
So, but that's not to say I don't appreciate or I'm not grateful for all the work I've done. I just kind of think I do it. I try to do my best work ever and then let it go to the universe, right?
Yeah, and move
And
forward.
yeah. And then it's moments like this where I get to stop and go, oh
Oh
my God,
yeah.
I'm really honored. Like, hey, Dee, let me give myself a little pat on the back because God knows I mean, I just go through the days just trying to do good, and rarely stop to pat myself on the back. It's something I need to work on. Um,
No, I think
but
that's awesome. You know, uh, Sticking on to a successful project, or an achievement, and just staying on it often leads you to uh, you know not creating more better work, because you're so uh, stitched to your previous achievement, that you kind of grow overconfident and you start working less harder, and sometimes that results in a downway hill.
Well, there's a lot to be said about humility and being humble,
Yeah.
and also not drinking your own lemonade. a lot of people, I think, do that, and it's certainly not uncommon. I don't think it's the most healthy way to live, and you're right. And it's also, you're not going to grow. You're not going to grow, because I just feel as an artist, I do feel as an actor, I'm an artist, and artists have to grow. Life, where every day changes, right? Life continues on whether you want to go with life or not.
Right.
So you have two options. You can, again, look at life through curiosity, keep absorbing new information, learning new things, be awe of things. Yes, be upset at things that anger you. Cool, absolutely, right? But just absorb it all, learn from it, grow with it, and that's going to also then make you a more well-rounded artist, versus like what you're talking about is holding on to something in the past.
Exactly.
There's no power back there.
Right.
There's no energy back there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The past is gone. It's done.
It's done.
Bye-bye, right? So the power is right now, but if there's something you want to pull back from there, bring it into the forefront. Like right now, when I remembered all my work, that made me feel really good. I got a little warm and fuzzy inside, but then after this interview, I'll go back to feeding the dog, the cat, the bird,
yeah,
my teenager, get his homework done. Back to business.
Yeah. I believe,
the real stuff.
I believe you can sometimes look at your past achievements and get motivated by them, but not get stuck to them.
I think in those moments where I start to get really down on myself and beat myself up and don't think I'm very talented, and oh my God, they made a mistake. Why did they hire me on Big Sky? Obviously it was a mistake. They meant to hire somebody else. That whole like rabbit hole of ugly internal conversations we have with ourselves, which I do, it helps to reflect, say, hold on. So look back at your resume for a minute and look at all that work. So all those people made a mistake. Wow, a lot of people are messing up around you, Dedee. All of them hired the wrong girl. Wow. So either there's something wrong with your internal conversation with yourself.
Exactly.
Or resume is a lying sack of paper.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So you have to then ask, where does the truth lie? Where is the truth? And then that's where I get to like say to myself, zip it. Let's move forward. That conversation is not helpful right now. So let's go do something positive right now. Or you can sit here and beat up on yourself. It's not going to do anything. It's not going to do any good. But another question it. Is there any truth in those thoughts? Is there any truth in those thoughts? And then you kind of like a lawyer, you question it up and down, Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a very good take on human psychology, and that's sort of what your role in Big Sky is also. You're manager at a private investigation firm, but your role is very authoritative and strong. So yeah, definitely it does reflect on your personality.
Denise is like the rock, she's like she's the constant in the show.
Yeah.
She's like the rock in the office where all of the girls are like kind of like butterflies. They're out, living life and trying to solve crimes and help people in need and all that. And when they come back, they need a place to land, like every butterfly, it needs to just, land and take a breath so they can go back out again and live life. And I like to think that Denise is like that. And she's also hopefully has some words of wisdom because she is older. And also I like that she's a smart ass. She's the first one to crack a joke because that's a fun person to be around when things are really thick and dark. And then you have someone to crack a joke. You're like, oh, thank you. I needed that relief. That little relief so that they can go back out and solve crime. Right. So yeah. I'm very, I feel like I'm so lucky to get this role, to have gotten this role. Like, again, it's just so like, wow, I'm kind of in awe. Still. And after the show is over, I'll look back and go, wow, actors I got to work with.
That's right. another thing that uh, I discovered while researching was that in '97, when you were in uh, Ellen publicly uh, announced that she was gay, and the episode was called the puppy episode, I believe, and
Mm-hmm.
that was the first time on public television where someone would confess, or w- is confess the
Admit.
right word?
I think admit or own.
Own,
No,
yeah, I think, yeah,
own.
own would be much better.
Yeah.
That that she is gay,
Yeah.
and so I read that it created a little, you know, controversies and issues. So, would you like to put some light on that, because you're obviously, uh, seeing all that happen?
Um, Actually, to be really transparent and honest with you, I've never read interviews, and I generally don't know about, like, I don't even know what the reviews are for Big Sky. I just know we got a second season, so we're doing something right. I have a motto. It's called "I stay in my own lane." I
Right.
remember when I first started acting, they started to review some my work, and some of the reviews were really kind, and some were really mean, like really just outright mean, especially because they're comparing me to my sister, which is rude. But
Yeah.
anyways, that's what they're going to do, whatever. So I remember, I think it was Peggy Fury, one of my first acting coaches, said, "Here's the deal with reviews or interviews or whatever. If you believe the good ones, you got to believe the bad ones. If you believe the bad ones, you got to believe the good ones. So good luck with that.
Yeah.
You're going to make yourself mad, like mad, because they're all opinions, and for every good one there's going to be a bad one, and there's a bad, so it doesn't really do you any good other than, kind of drive you crazy. So, and who knows why people review the things they do. I know I've watched things, and if I had a bad moment before I watch something, I'm going to probably look at it with a perspective not so curious and open, but maybe with resistance, and I'm not going to like it.
Yeah.
And then maybe go back later and go, what was wrong with me? This is a great movie. I must have had something, I don't know, right? So, but that's hard. It's easier said than done when people are saying things about you. But I've done a pretty good job of just staying away from it. I don't read it. I don't look for it. I don't
Uh-huh.
even do just now started doing social media and only Instagram because
Right.
of the show Big Sky. Otherwise, I didn't even do that before.
Uh-huh.
I'm old fashioned. I'll call you on the phone and say hi.
Uh-huh.
Texting is huge for me. Emailing is even more huge.
Uh-huh.
So Instagram, me figuring out what the heck I'm doing on
Yeah.
Instagram is like nothing short of a miracle. My boys are still shocked I'm able to post anything.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I friend people, unfriend. I don't know what I'm doing. I just start pushing buttons. I don't know about that. I can only imagine. Sure, I'm sure she got a whole bunch of stuff. That times were different then. Whenever you are somebody who's going to break new ground,
Exactly.
um, yeah, and you're going to go against the norms, whether the norms are proper or liberal, conservative, or whatever. When you go against things that are not status quo, people are going to get upset. That's just that's the nature of things. This goes way back, right, to tribal days and
Exactly.
stuff. When you break up something that's normal, people are going to have a reaction to it. I
Definitely.
say let them have a reaction. They're not hurting themselves or anybody else in their reaction or doing anything that's bad. Then bitch all you want. But I say good for her. Like right now, I'm on a show with Jesse James Keitel. I mean, from what I understand, she's the first trans actor to be a lead, like a principal character on a major network show.
Yeah.
I'm like proud to say that. You know,
Exactly.
Jesse James, who I love I love her. Her and I, man, we are always messing around on the set. I've become, her and I are really tight. It's hard when you're away from your family and friends and stuff on location. So she and I bop around. We're like frickin' frack. Could not be more opposite. And yet we did. But again, I can see how like she's really breaking new ground, right? And yet
Right.
some people ain't so happy about her, and that's all right. Just don't be cruel about it. Then fine, stay in your own lane, have your opinion. That's all right.
Exactly. I think everybody has the right to, have their opinion. Um, just as, we were
Sure.
discussing that if you're gonna um, believe the good things, then you also have to believe the bad things. So, a lot
I
of
mean, right?
internees or people that work under me come complaining to me that I wrote a blog and everybody on Reddit is roasting me and this and that, and I'm like, as long as they're talking about it, you've done a good job.
My dad, God bless his soul, Dick Pfeiffer used to say, "Need or do." This is my first kind of bad reviews.
Yeah.
He goes, "Look, it doesn't matter." He goes, "Well, opinions are like, uh, you know, they all stink." Anyways, but he said, when it comes to reviews, it doesn't matter if it's a good or bad review as long as they spell your name right.
Yeah.
He goes, "No, if they're talking about you, you're in the game.
Right.
You're in the game." If it's when they're not talking about you, you need to start worrying. And I thought, well, that's an interesting perspective. This is
Yeah.
my dad, Dick Pfeiffer, giving his little words of wisdom from, little man from, or big man actually, from North Dakota,
Hmm.
knowing nothing about the industry, but was very intuitive when it comes to stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So this one incident also happened with me. Uh, I was interviewing someone that I really admired. She's not a very big name, but I really, really admired her work, short videos, and I had that very, very positive feelings about the kind of work she does and the way she contributes to the society through her videos. So it was, beyond my wildest imaginations. I did not even uh, contact her agent. In fact, she contacted me, and we had an interview, and I was so fidgety and anxious that I'd go ooh, and someone commented about that, and I was like, thank you for your comment, and I'll work on that. And
Mhm.
that's
Yeah.
that's how you shut up people.
I think it's important for people, people want to feel relevant. If you think about it, right? I think everyone wants to feel relevant.
Definitely.
And if you look at when people say things like that again, it's their way of trying to feel relevant. And if you think of it from that perspective, that you can kind of forgive them
Yeah.
versus stay in your own lane, man. Why do you have? Because I had people say things to me on my Instagram about like the bird and not drinking coffee and the dog with chocolate, and I'm like sweetly saying it's not chocolate, it's a beef sucker. It's a dog beef sucker, not a chocolate sucker. And the bird's allowed to have decaf. The vet said she can have a little bit of coffee with me as long as it's decaf. So she's, because they're like, you're not supposed to be getting cockatoos coffee. It's bad for their heart. And I was like, no, calm down. It's all good. Thank you for your concern. I'm not going to kill the cockatoo. Well, not with drinking coffee, but if she keeps pooping all over the place, then that's a whole nother story, huh? Look at her. Look at me. She's giving me the evil eye. Yeah, I'm getting the evil eye.
Okay, Didi, coming to your independent films, you've done tons of independent films, um, but let's talk about Loretto. What's the story about? It's won quite a few awards as well. So,
I wasn't in Laredo.
uh,
I actually
directed
produced
it.
it,
You produced it.
directed. Yeah, I produced it with my ex-husband,
Yeah,
Kevin J. Ryan,
yeah, yeah.
and we also produced The Tub, which I did star
Yeah,
in.
and you got the
Yeah,
Best Actress award for that.
which is really flattering. That was one of by far the heaviest drama roles I've ever done, which happened to have been a short,
Uh-huh.
and only did a lot of people have not seen it. So it's funny. But yeah, that's a very heavy dramatic role. Those were like a projects of passion. There were often times as an actor you have so much downtime. Like I said, you can just get in trouble if you're not careful. So my ex-husband and I at the time decided to start producing. So we produced those two films, and Laredo was his pet project, and The Tub was my pet project. And
Uh-huh.
so it was really cool to see them do well. It's really exciting to see them
Right.
do well.
So it's been great talking to you, Didi. A dream come true, and
Oh,
something I never would have imagined if Mr. Turk hadn't, mentioned your name. I
Turkey. My publicist, we love Turkey,
Yeah,
Turkey. Of course, I have a publicist named Turk.
yeah.
To come Turkey. How
So,
can you not like a guy
so
named Turk, right?
yeah. So
Yeah,
I interviewed
he's good.
Ed Begley Jr. and after that he's like, uh, "Would you like to interview Dedee Pfeiffer?" And I'm like, "Did I read that right, or is he?"
I'm sure you were like, my mom's gonna kill me.
So it was, very, very. Uh, I just got really excited, and I even have you know, mm, the photos and the um, cover page and the YouTube thumbnail, everything ready for the interview. So yeah,
Awesome. Thank you.
yeah.
You are very sweet. This has been really lovely.
Thank
I
you.
love speaking with you. And my, because I don't know what I'm doing half the time, my computer's at 9%. So I'm like, that's why I kept looking up. I'm like, oh my God, is this going to shut off? I'm not that electronically, like I said, I can barely do Instagram.
Same here, man. Same here. I just hate to touch my phone. I hate
And I don't even know what my
using those WhatsApp and all that, you know,
yeah.
applications. It's just too much. And now with these smart watches, it's gotten way too much.
Oh.
I would never get myself a smartwatch.
My watch are mala beads.
Yeah,
I just have the mala beads all day. I
yeah,
look at the sun, Elysian time.
yeah,
Looks like it's about 2 o'clock.
yeah. That works. That works. That's the way to
Yeah,
live. That's the way
yeah,
to
a little
live.
more simple.
Yeah,
It's a little simple. Yeah, make it simple.
yeah.
Well, it was beautiful meeting you. Thank you so much for having me on your awesome
You're
show.
always
Looking forward to
welcome. You're always welcome to Screen Bench. And what can I
oh,
say? It's been an
yeah,
honor.
that's what we're gonna Big Sky, new night.
Uh huh.
We're no longer Tuesday nights, we're Thursday nights. We don't want to lose anybody.
Uh huh.
Um 10 p.m. Thursday night. If you've missed the first season, you can binge it on Hulu or wherever it is you binge. I don't even know what that means, but yeah, I mean, I binge on potato chips, but that's different. Yeah, wherever you can binge. You want to get caught up so you can get to know the characters. Because one
Yeah.
thing about Big Sky that I love, I think people do care about the characters.
Exactly.
So yeah, and it hooks you in the first season. And besides the cliffhangers,
Yeah.
we tease you, and tease you like crazy. And trust me, it pays off this season. Because I can't tell you, just tune in this season. You won't be sorry. I
You know what I
promise.
like about Big Sky is that every character has a, distinct presence in the show. No one's
Yeah,
overshadowed by anybody.
yeah. No, everybody. It's very colorful.
Yeah.
Um, it's like, and we get these guest stars that are fabulous, like fantastic actors of all generations. New, like me, like recycled, like John, who's been doing it forever, Brian, who's been doing it forever, and then you have all these younger, characters that are amazing, upcoming, new. Jesse's new.
Mm.
And then we bring y'all on, and we either kill you, or you kill each other, or you go to jail for killing them. Something general. If you've seen the pilot, you know that nobody's safe on this show. This is what I love about Big Sky. People go, well, no one, Denise will never die. I go, I don't know that. That would be for great ratings. Can you imagine if David E. Kelly was a sister-in-law for a fucking Christmas? But I think it would be like, I'm like, actually, I'd probably kill me because it's like, not me, but Denise, right? It'd
Yeah.
be fantastic ratings, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
Watch, I just got my butt just fired. No, write her off. She said in an interview. She said kill her. No, I think Denise is pretty safe. Hopefully, she's part of the family of the show.
But
Yeah.
she
Then
will
sacrificed.
die. She will die.
You know what? I hopefully she won't be sacrificed. Sacrificial lamb.
Okay, okay. It's been it's been an honor speaking to you. You're always welcome to Screen Bench, and
Thank you.
you can always update me with your new work, and we'll have sessions like these, like this, and or maybe something different. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We'll get the dog in the next one. Thank you so much. You got the bird and the cat in this one.
Right.
Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
It was amazing. Bye bye.